Hi, we're here at the Divertimenti in Daunt Books Culinary Salon, and it is my pleasure to welcome Diana Henry. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's lovely to be here.
And I love this book. It's just fabulous. But I was reading, I flipped through the recipes first. I'm like, hey, I want to make that, And I went back and read the introduction where you said that for 3 years you preserve something every day.
Yeah, I'm a bit of an obsessive.
And then I reread it because I thought, no, surely not.
No, I did.
You did?
Yeah, the kids got fed up. My partner nearly left me. No, he didn't. But he would come home and he'd say, what is there to eat apart from pickles? Because, I mean, well, if you're going to do a book that size and you want to really know what you're talking about, you've got to do it all the time. And then you get kind of carried away. You think, if I do this, will that work? So you try different things. So I did, literally. But all my books kind of come out of my life. I didn't think, oh, what should I write a book about? I'll write a book about jams and then I'll do loads of them. It was kind of like, I really want to learn about jams. I really want to learn more about it. I want to perfect things. I want to understand things. So I'm going to do this every day. And I'll write a book about it at the same time.
Amazing. But there is such a fear factor about preserving.
I was scared. That's partly why I wanted to do it. Because I had done it. I'd done it since I was a teenager. I'd made gravlax and stuff like that. And there were kind of good jam makers in my family and family friends. But I always kind of thought, I might poison somebody. Why am I not poisoning anybody? And there were things I certainly hadn't done. I'd never done confit of duck, for example, because I thought, have you got all the air out? Yeah. So there were kind of scary things. And also, I got a bit annoyed because the boys were really getting in on the act. There was all this kind of like getting out, building your smoke ray, and I thought, hey, it's the girls really who've done most preserving. So you're not going to take that away from us. And I thought, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do a bit of meat, but it's not going to be the kind of, cure the pig in the bath kind of thing. Because I used to work with Hugh Friendly Whittingstall, you see, and he kind of is, it's kind of, it's boy cooking, and I thought, but I'll do this book, but it will be kind of girl cooking in a way.
Because you talk about a gentle way of doing it. I thought that was really lovely, that you don't have to have the kind of machismo.
You absolutely don't. That's the other thing. I think people are very put off because they think they need a lot of equipment, and you really don't. I bought 2 big preserving pans, so I had kind of, one already, so I had an extra one. Lots of wooden spoons. Big, you need a lot of measuring jugs, plastic measuring jugs that are clear. You need those. Quantities of muslin, and that, honestly, that was it. And my little smoker was a little stovetop smoker. You didn't have to buy anything really fancy because I don't really like equipment, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm terrible on technical things. And every time you read about something smoking, it was about, oh, how can you turn your gym locker, into it? I thought, I really don't want to do that. Well, somebody else can do that bit and then I'll do the smoking. But I don't want to be out there with, hammers and nails and drills.
No.
So it had to be bought. I like to make things doable and accessible and for people to feel, I give that a go, because it's fun.
Absolutely, and if you're like, okay, I can do it.
By the end of that book, I thought, if I can get on top of this, anybody can get on top of it. Because I'm not a chef. I mean, I'm a home cook, and I'm teaching myself all the time. That's an ongoing thing, and will do till I die, I suppose. And if I'm getting on top of it, then someone else will be able to as well.
I mean, how would you describe your cooking influences? Because it does seem to be quite global.
They are kind of global.
Middle Eastern and Mediterranean, which is what I love about it.
I think it's because I was brought up in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, so there was nothing exotic at all. So I used to dream about things. I mean, I used to dream about going places. And this makes me sound very old, but our kind of idea of a family holiday was to go to Dublin, which wasn't actually that far away, and to go to the airport to watch the planes taking off. And it was like that then. Things have just changed so much. So I dreamt about, I had the Arabian Nights, so I read about those and I dreamt about that kind of foods. And it seemed really, I couldn't believe things like figs existed. I didn't see one till I was about 18, I think. And also a lot of American stuff. I read the Little House books, Little House on the Prairie. So I have got a real fondness for American stuff. When people talk to me about how bad American food is, I get really cross. Because, I think we're so indebted to them in many ways. Not for McDonald's, but for, Alice Waters and Chez Panisse and the Seasonal and Simple and all the rest of it. So the kind of the things come from everywhere. And when I started to go places when I was in my early 20s and I was at university, it was a bit like, oh my god. I mean, like one of the first places I went to was Catalonia. So you have the Arab connection there because you have that sweet savoury thing going on. And then I was a TV producer for years, so I just used to gather up recipes because I was obsessive. It was my kind of like massive hobby, and I used to cook to exhaustion at the weekends and then go back into my job on a Monday morning. So when I wrote my first book, all that stuff had already been going on for ages, and it was great, because if you've been like that since you were about 6, then it's like you've got loads of material, and then you keep traveling and you keep finding new things, and it's great. I love it.
Well, to all of our benefit, thank you so much, and thank you for joining us,
You're
Diana
welcome.
Henry. It's a real pleasure. Thank you.